Mortgage stress test frequently asked questions. In this video I cover: what is the minimum qualifying rate for the mortgage stress test? Does the stress test apply to all mortgages? Are there exceptions to the mortgage stress test? How can I improve my chances of passing the mortgage stress test? What happens if I fail the mortgage stress test? Can the stress test affect refinancing? How often do stress test rules change? What is the best mortgage stress test calculator? What is the minimum qualifying rate for the mortgage stress test? The minimum qualifying rate for the mortgage stress test is either the Bank of Canada's 5-year benchmark rate or the interest rate offered by the lender plus 2%, whichever is higher. The Bank of Canada's 5-year benchmark rate is currently 5.25%. This rate is subject to change based on economic conditions. Does the stress test apply to all mortgages? The stress test applies to all new mortgages, including those with down payments of 20% or more, which are not insured. It also applies to mortgage renewals if the borrower switches to a new lender. Are there exceptions to the mortgage stress test? Currently, there are few exceptions to the stress test. It applies broadly to all new mortgage borrowers and those switching lenders. The two known exceptions are: renewing your existing mortgage with the same lender will not require a stress test. Renewing an insured mortgage while switching lenders now does not require a stress test. This is a recent change in 2023. How can I improve my chances of passing the mortgage stress test? To enhance your likelihood of passing the stress test, increase your down payment, pay off debts to lower your debt-to-income ratio, opt for a longer mortgage term, which could result in lower required payments. Consider a more affordable property. What happens if I fail the mortgage stress test? Failing the stress test means you might not qualify for the mortgage amount you desired. You may need to look for less expensive properties, increase your down payment, or improve your financial situation. Can the stress test affect refinancing? Yes, the stress test affects refinancing. If you're refinancing your mortgage or taking out a home equity line of credit, you'll need to pass the stress test, even with your current lender. How often do stress test rules change? Stress test rules can change in response to economic conditions, regulatory decisions, and housing market dynamics. It's important to stay informed about any updates as they could impact your mortgage planning. What is the best mortgage stress test calculator? The Government of Canada offers a mortgage qualifier tool that you can use to determine under what scenarios you will pass the mortgage stress test.